Hi, Jennifer. It's Michelle. I'm going to go through this and make a few comments for you to do some final changes. Um, and I'm hoping they will be helpful for you just to have to expand some of and broaden some of your knowledge. I'm thinking that there are things that you may not have had in previous classes yet. So I'm trying to backtrack a little bit and make sure that you get the knowledge that will help you to make these activities a little more appropriate. So, for this letter tracing activity, this really is not an activity that's appropriate for this age. Maybe 5 year olds, some 4 year olds could probably do it, but it's really not in their best interest to do it. Tracing letters is something that's really for only for children actually that are older and maybe need to trace them in order to accommodate for some kind of a need they have with fine motor skills, perhaps. So I am going to ask you to change this activity to just have it be paper and marker. Pencils are too small and thin for fine motor work for young children. It's much better for them to use either crayons that are somewhat larger and that have a better grasp for them, or markers have a good grasp. So, and also write and white boards with write and white markers would be more appropriate if you wanted to substitute for that. But 3 and 5 year olds really have no business doing this activity. And again, even older children should not be tracing letters. That's not an appropriate way for them to learn to write a letter. So I want you to rethink that one. This crocodile circle is fine, except it's really more for just 5 and 6 year olds. You could do it with 4 year olds, but there are better ways to look at alphabet recognition with them. And so I'm going to ask you to change the age on that to make it more appropriate. Okay, for these number exercises, again, this is not appropriate for 3 year olds. Maybe some 4 year olds could do it, but it's better for them just to jump 2 times rather than do this whole thing with the cards and the dots beforehand. 5 year olds, this is okay for, and 6 year olds. So if that helps you a little bit. In terms of matching shapes by feeling through the sand, that is fine. I guess I'm just a little curious about, I'm not quite sure what the skill is involved in terms of reaching in and matching it with the drawing. I'm not sure, are you doing the drawing? Are the children doing the drawing? If you're doing the drawing and they're just matching the shape to your drawing, that's fine as long as it actually matches. I'm not clear how are you going to trace around a toy and then have them match it to that? It's a little unclear, but it's fine. It's just a visual matching game, and the sand is a great sensory tool. So it's fine. It's just that it's a little unclear in the description. Okay. So this color slideshow, I'm a little confused about it. I'm not sure why you would use a slideshow and a color chart instead of just using real objects in nature and identifying the colors that way. It's a little bit unclear to me why you would use the slideshow. And in terms of your needs and accommodations, your description, if a child is acting out or causing a scene, that is not professional language. And I don't know if you've been taught the professional language for that yet. This is not an accommodation. Actually, an accommodation is for a specific need that a child has. It's usually written in some kind of formal way, maybe an IEP, for example. We haven't gotten to IEPs yet, and maybe you haven't been taught anything at all about this. So I just want to point out that that's um, the idea of considering this an acting out or causing a scene is not professional language, first of all. And secondly, it's not really truly an accommodation need. Group management in something like this would be incredibly difficult. It's definitely not appropriate for 4 year olds, maybe 5 year olds, maybe 6 year olds. But if you're anticipating that kids won't be able to sit through this slideshow and do this, then it's probably just not a good idea. I have to be honest. That's one of the things that you learn as a teacher, that if you have this really cool idea, you think it's going to be great, then you start realizing you have all these accommodations that you may have to come up with. It maybe isn't such a good idea. So I would like you to rethink that and not use a slideshow and a color chart, and use some other way of working with kids with seeing the colors in nature, perhaps, since you did mention about the grass. And the idea that you have them repeat after you, grass is green, that is not appropriate at all. I don't know where you're getting this activity and this description, because it's not really appropriate for kids to interact like this with teachers. You don't usually have young children repeat after you like that. So I'm just a little confused about it. So again, I don't know what classes you've had so far. So I'm trying to kind of fill in some things there. So in terms of the balloon activity, I would say this is not a good activity for 3 year olds. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. I would say maybe 6 and 7 year olds. But just always keep in mind that balloons can be problematic for some kids. So, but you definitely could not do this with young children under the age of 5 or 6 at the soonest. Just so make sure you change that. And again, 3 year olds, pencils and scissors. I don't know that scissors for 3 year olds, I would be surprised if they knew how to use them. I would say you should just reduce this to paper and markers. No pens, no pencils, no scissors if you want it to be for 3 year olds. And that's all I can say about that. I'm not sure where this is from, or anyway, I just would like things to be a little more specific in terms of the age group there. And here you have found items, bags, glue, paper. And yeah, that's fine. I'm not sure why you need the glue. I guess, are you thinking they would glue the items down? I'm not clear on that. But as long as it's 3 year olds, I would just let them collect things and put them in bags. And I don't think you need to glue them down, though. In fact, natural things, I would recommend you don't glue them down, because they're going to decay, and that's a good thing for kids to just go put them back into the earth, and that would be a great lesson. So if you want to change that a little bit, that's fine. That would actually be under the science domain and not visual arts or creativity. Rock painting, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Water painting is good always. That's a good one for any age, so that's fine. I'm not really clear on the fake. I thought I mentioned in the last time to take the fake food out, so maybe maybe I wasn't clear enough about that. And kingdom costumes, princess dress, crown, shoes, scarves. I mean, that's all fine. Listening game. Um, I don't really feel like you should try this listening games until kids are maybe 4 years old at the soonest. So I would just change the age on that. So I hope those are helpful for you. It's mainly age issues and some things that are a little unclear. So just keep working on it. I'm thinking if you can get it tweaked this time, you'll be done because it's there's just some minor things. But and also let me know if you have not had any courses in accommodations and how those work. Because some of your accommodations are written. I'm just a little unclear of where you're getting your accommodations. Are you writing them or are you finding them? And what classes have you had? So I just want to make sure I'm helping you as best I can.